And welcome to the Guy Who Sews channel. My name is Sean, and in today's video I'm going to show you a bunch of the fun applique blocks that I made for a project that is still a work in progress. In the 2019-2020 school year, we had a lovely young lady from Poland stay with Amanda and I for the school year as part of an exchange program. I wanted to make her a quilt that showcased her year and the events that she experienced here in the US, but sadly it isn't finished yet, but I thought it'd be fun to go through and just show you what I had made and what I have left to do. So let's go through the blocks and the stories behind them. The first one is the airplane that she came to come over the Atlantic Ocean in. It's a United plane. I haven't finalized this one yet, but it's a lot of fun. And then one of the first things we did was take it to our favorite ice cream place where they have wonderful ice cream sundaes. We also wanted her to experience some of the traditional American foods that we eat here in the US. This is a taco, or my interpretation of a taco. They don't really have Mexican food over in Poland. They don't really have it in Australia too, so that was fun for her to see. We also had a bunch of cookouts, so this is my hamburger one. And you've also got to have your hot dog with mustard. And then she also enjoyed some of our snack foods, including everybody's favorite, Reese's and Doritos. And these are all raw edge applique blocks. I also made a block each for Copper and Bandit. Finley was not around when our exchange student was here. And then I also made outlines of each of the states that she visited. So New York, New Jersey, it'll be up in a minute, sorry. They all stick together. Virginia, which is where she spent most of her time here with us. She also went to Maryland. Very small part, just for a few minutes, but it counts. And then North Carolina. So she got to visit 5 states. While she was here, she went to the local high school, and she took a cooking class, biology, what was this? History. It was just a book. I haven't finished that one quite yet. And then English. This was one of the books she read, 1984. She also took German 5, and then there's a couple other classes I haven't done yet. We also introduced her to cornhole, so this is my block for that. And then we took her to the Science Museum of Virginia, which is up in Richmond, and this is the museum itself, which is an old railroad station. And then this is the my outline of the Virginia Beach oceanfront and the resort area, the hotel buildings. And then she also volunteered at the Neptune Festival, which they have usually around the Labor Day weekend. And what visit to an American school is complete without going to a school football game? She also got to experience the outskirts of one of the hurricanes that grazed the coast of North Carolina, about 100 miles from us. So this is the hurricane logo, and then this is the coast of North Carolina. We took her up into the mountains of Virginia to go apple picking. And then just up the street from that is Monticello, I'm probably pronouncing it wrong, which is the home of Thomas Jefferson. And then we took her to one of the local corn mazes, and that was a lot of fun. And she was one of those people who actually enjoyed candy corn. Let me know in the comments if you enjoy candy corn. It's one of those things you can't stand. It seems that you're one or the other. And then following that would be Halloween. We all did pumpkin carving, and that was a lot of fun. We went to one of the plantations. I think it's called Lands View, or I can't remember the exact place, but it was a lot of fun to visit this house. It's apparently the place of one of the first Thanksgivings here in Virginia. We also had election day. I forget which election it was, but it was one of them. And then we took her to Colonial Williamsburg, which is only about an hour from us, so that was a lot of fun for her to see. And this is the governor's palace, or the recreation of it, because I think the original burnt down. And then, what American holiday is more American than Thanksgiving? It's really a holiday. It's only celebrated in the US and Canada. I'm not aware of any other countries that celebrate it. And then the next one was Christmas. And then I think it was a day or two after, Amanda and her went to see Hamilton the musical. They had the Broadway go on tour, and they came to our local area, so those two were able to go see it. I didn't go because all I would have done was fall asleep. And then this is the Charlotte Sisters, which is part of the Hamilton musical. And then they were very lucky, and they got a little bit of snow. Both of them love snow. We didn't have enough to make a snowman, but I figured this was a good illustration. And then we took her to Jamestown Settlement, which was the first permanent British settlement, I believe, in North America. Correct me if I'm wrong. And that was like just before the COVID pandemic. And who can not forget the 2020 toilet paper shortage? She absolutely loved birds. And so she used to say every time she saw a bird, "It's a bird." So I made her a block that says "It's a bird," and then added the cardinal, which is the state bird of Virginia. And we actually have a mating pair that live in basically our backyard, so it's kind of fun. Next event would have been Easter, so I just made a fun little Easter egg for that. And then during the lockdown, we weren't allowed really to go too far, so we played a lot of Wii games and board games, which was the block here, and watched a lot of movies. It was also about the time that Baby Yoda made its appearance everywhere. And then Amanda and her loved watching Murdoch Mysteries. It's a Canadian show set in like the 1900s, and she thought it'd be fun to call them the Murdochs. So this is the Mr. Murdoch and Mrs. Murdoch. I guess it's an inside joke, but they're fun blocks. We also sat down and watched the entire Harry Potter series. I'll get it right in a minute. And then she was a huge, huge fan of The Office, and this hopefully looks like Dwight. They also loved the Gilmore Girls, and so I made a Luke's Diner logo for her. And then we took a day trip up to Washington. It was a little surreal during the pandemic to go up to Washington. We were actually able to drive around the city because there was no traffic. That's just so freaky. Like, usually there's traffic everywhere when we take the metro, but we were actually able to see stuff we hadn't in the past, which is not illustrated in these blocks. This is the Capitol building. I didn't quite make it round enough here, but it still gives the same illustration. The Jefferson Monument, the Lincoln Memorial, and here we go, and the Washington Monument and the Reflecting Lake. These blocks are all ones that I designed myself. And then we also went and played tennis. And then these are the mountains of Virginia, the Blue Mountains. And then this is the logo for the Chesapeake Bay Bridge Tunnel. We went across there and saw some pretty cool stuff on the eastern shore of Virginia. We also went and played mini golf as stuff started to open up again. And then we took her down for a day trip to the Outer Banks of North Carolina, which is about a 2-hour drive. And she got to see a couple of cool lighthouses. I believe this is Ocracoke Lighthouse, but I could be wrong on that. And then this was Jockey's Ridge, which is a series of huge sand dunes. And this is a kite, because it's a really good place to fly kites. And then these are the bushes. And then this is one of the other lighthouses. And then we're almost at the end. This was her graduation cap. And she was actually able to graduate, although it was like one of those drive-through things. That's what we all did in 2020. And then she was supposed to go home in early to mid-June, but because of the closures, the Polish borders did not reopen until early July. So she was actually fortunate enough to hang out with us a little bit longer and experience July 4th, and she loved the fireworks. So I did one final block for the fireworks. So what are we going to do from here? I think I need to make a few more blocks for this just to polish out the year, and then I'm going to piece it all together, quilt it, and then send it over to her in Poland. So let me know what you thought of the quilt, which blocks you liked, and if there's any that you'd like me to create the pattern for, redo, and maybe teach some tutorials. I had a lot of fun doing this quilt. It's been a lot of fun. I really would like to get it done and not have it as an unfinished object anymore. So thank you so much for joining me. If you did like the video, please hit the like button, share with a friend, and always love hearing your comments. So I hope you all have a great day, and we'll see you on the next video. Bye.